Hi everyone, this is Penguin Trades. We're looking at the ES futures on a 500 tick chart with a 21 EMA. So I'm going to be done trading a bit early today. Usually I stop around noon. Right now it's 11:03. And so you can see from a couple days ago we have this uptrend start, and we go into this uptrend, we get a clear two-legged break, and then you can see we start the new high attempt. It makes that new high on the first leg. There's a correction, and then we get that start of that second leg. Obviously there's a major correction before price reaches that measured move, but clearly it's an important measured move level. This is the two legs to a new high, and right when price met that measured move, we got a very sharp reversal down. And so when price starts reversing down off of a measured move, especially when it's a playing out measured move, this uptrend playing out with a break to a new high, and it's competing with a wider uptrend, that's an important thing to notice, because there's going to be a lot of bears that want to get in on the reversal down, but there's going to be a lot of bulls that want to hold on this uptrend. So that leads to a competition area, and it just leads to a bull bear fight basically. So today it started off with price, of course, pushing off of this overnight high, off of the major measured move, and we get this spike down, break, second push down. So basically it's acting like a downtrend with a break, and then price attempting to push down to a new low. And it doesn't make that new low here. As you can see, it doesn't go past that swing. We get this correction, 2 attempts higher off of this key entry point, and then after the 2 legs up, we get another attempt lower. So basically what you can view this as is a downtrend with a break, and then we have our first attempt lower, second attempt lower, and then this is the failure. And that's why I liked entering long here once price got back above the trend line, and of course above the EMA. And I got filled when price pulled back here after price pushed above this bar here, which, let me get closer in there. So after price broke above this bar here, closing above the EMA and getting back into the channel, I got filled when price pulled back here. And then basically I just wanted to get out before this swing. This is 2 legs up, and then as soon as it made that new high, it had a very sharp push down. So I figured there could be some resistance here, and I just didn't want to expect price to go too far through it. And yeah, so anyway, that's why I got out right at that swing. Price continues up, reaches this measured move, and as soon as it reaches that measured move, it of course gets very sideways. It makes a couple more attempts higher, and then ultimately pushes down, making a much clearer break of this uptrend. And so when price starts pushing lower here, we still have this measured move in play, and so we need to consider that. Price could be attempting to reach that. Also, we could be going for another overnight low retest, because it's been a while since price has reached that. And this uptrend, this is a pretty big uptrend, so you can get a decent sized break. It can make a much bigger break than that even before attempting a new high. So there's a lot of reasons to think that price could keep going down even though we're in this uptrend. You just got to stick with what price does in the moment. And so anyway, price pushes off this measured move, we get a very sharp spike down, breaks out of this channel here, we get this very small new high attempt, fails of course. That gives us our second leg down from here, so we have this measured move down from there. And then price reaches this measured move, also of course reaching the overnight low. It's pretty close to this measured move down here. It's not quite reaching it. Sometimes it's it's close enough, even if it doesn't quite reach it. But we are still within this channel right here, so we're actually even more likely to get another test down to this channel. Down to this measured move level. And so anyway, price reaches the channel. That immediately gives us another push down. So it's really just not a great place to enter, because you don't want to enter long directly into the channel. You don't want to enter short directly off of this channel either, because price just met this measured move. It's just pushing off of the overnight low. This is a major reversal area. We can expect price to reverse higher. And so even though we're finding some resistance and getting some bearish reaction here, that does not mean I would want to go short. So anyway, we get these 2 pushes down from there. It kind of acts like a small break, and then 2 pushes down to a new low. Even if it technically didn't break there, which it's very borderline, you still got a clear break and a push to a new low here, which led to a very sharp reversal higher. And so the way that I entered here, basically, let me just zoom out let me scale this better. So this uptrend has a break. We can expect price to attempt a new high. Price met this measured move right here. And so after price made this spike up and then these two thin legs down. When price pushed back out, you can see right about here, we made this push above the EMA, and then it had a very small attempt back out, made another small higher low, retesting that measured move level, and then pushed out higher. And then I got filled on the limit order. I don't remember exactly what happened. Either way, I got this trade recorded, so you're going to see that at the beginning anyway. I kind of forgot exactly how I entered, but I know I entered right above this bar here, and I forget if I got filled right when this bar started pushing higher, or if I got filled sometime on the pullback. I think I might just be confusing it with this trade where I got filled on the pullback. Either way, you'll see the video at the beginning. I kind of forgot exactly how I got filled, but anyway, price pushes on up. So after these couple attempts down, making that clear triple bottom, it's, basically just telling us, the bulls are starting to win out. Price can't get past this level, even though there's a measured move in play. And so that launches price higher. This would be a great spot for a good failed second entry. Say you didn't get filled on any of this over here, then if you get a spike up, a couple legs back with a clear hold above the EMA, then you can look to get long. But you actually don't even get a great setup for that, really, because after this push up, it's just straight below the EMA. Now, considering the overall bigger picture context, it's, I would actually be willing to enter on something not as good just because of the, this larger leg play out, this downtrend break, push to a new low, reversal. And so, I think it's fine to enter on something that gets above the EMA, even if it's not as good. It was pushing pretty heavily below there. But anyway, I would still want to wait on something good. But anyway, price pushes down to this measured move. That launches price higher. We get this second leg up. Let me just copy that over for a visual here. Notice price reaches this measured move, and exactly when it meets it, it pushes on up and goes straight to this measured move. So it's very important to understand these measured move levels. They're very important. This measured move level, clearly price was reacting to it there. Clearly price was reacting to this one here, this up measured move. It's just very important to understand them, and of course this much larger measured move. So anyway, in this case here, price of course pushed right on through that, and when price pushes through a measured move level like that, what you'd want to see is a two-legged retest on top of that level. And price attempts to reverse here. That's why you get this chop, because there's going to be some bulls that want to continue with that momentum off of the overnight low. But there's going to be some that say, hey, we've reached the measured move, we need to reverse down, and then they're going to want to short. And so that's why it causes that congestion right there. But what I'd like to see is a clear two-legged retest on top of that level with a good bullish reaction, because what that's telling you is that you're getting the two attempts to reverse, and if it ends up with a bullish reaction, then that means that the bears are exhausted even after two reversal attempts. So you can look to get in on the failure to reverse. And so anyway, price pushes on up here. As you can see, it just goes straight up to the overnight high. And there's really not much else to say. It just pushes straight up. This uptrend has a clear break, push up to a new high. The uptrend is now considered played out, and we're much more likely for a very strong reversal now, especially given that it making a new high is right around a pretty big measured move level. So we could even just push lower and get a failed second entry that retests that measured move level, slash the overnight high. But yeah, that's really going to do it for this video. I hope it helped out. And, I didn't go over as much today because, of course, I'm doing this an hour earlier than usual. But I hope this video helped out, and I really appreciate you watching. I'll see y'all next time.